Oh, magnify the Lord, for He is worthy to be praised. Oh, magnify the Lord, for He is worthy to be praised. Hosanna, blessed be the rock. Hosanna. If you could go and hug your brother and your sister. No, we're going to kiss across the room and wave. Sorry. Temple loves you. Holy Temple welcomes you. Amen. Now, somebody said our God is bigger than the coronavirus. Somebody said our God is bigger than the famine in the land. Our God is bigger than the mountain. Our God is bigger than the happenstance. Our God is bigger than the enemy. And he shall not be defeated. We shall not be defeated. Because he's the greatest power. How you the pastor said he's the greatest power. The greatest power. Where is it? In all the earth. In all the earth. The greatest power in all the earth. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. I get happy when we call on that name. I feel peace when I call on his name. I feel joy when I call on his name. I feel deliverance when I call on his name. Somebody says something happens when I call on his name. Something happens. Something happens when I call on his name. Somebody say Jesus. 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 The lily in the valley. Jesus. The bright and morning star. Jesus. The first, the last, Jesus, the beginning, the end, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. All right. So our topic for today is generational rise. Generational rise. So I was studying it all week, and I was trying to figure out what that meant to me. And God said, it's a command. It's a command. And God is in the season of wanting people who say, God, your wish is my command. God, your wish is my command. God, your wish is my command. He said, arise. So then after God gave me, your wish is not command. After God explained to me what generation arise me, your wish is not command. Then we were having a conversation. Me and a friend, we were having a conversation. And in the conversation, she said, Tanera, what do you do when the well runs dry? She said, Tanera, what about when your well is dry? And you have no one to pour into you? She said, what do you do when your well runs dry? And you have no one to pour into you. And I said, well, what would I do? I thought about it. I'm pretty sure I've heard it plenty of times that a well, see, the thing about the well and the streaming of water is how deep you go. Okay. Somebody ain't catch that. The thing about the well and the capacity and the streaming of water is based on how deep you go. So I was sitting in the bed. And God was talking to me about this well. Because see, this was after he already told me that everything about arise. And what he wanted to say today, he said this, he said, yes, Lord. Every now and then, you won't have a pouring of water. Sometimes you'll feel empty. Sometimes you'll feel empty. Anybody ever been empty before? Somebody knows exactly what I'm talking about. Mind gone, disconnected relationships. Some relationships you're still connected to that needs to be disconnected. Going under money, thinking right, relationships not going right. And just for some reason I feel empty. I'm looking around every corner. God said in this season, you'll have an abundance of water if you just go deeper. He said, in this season, you'll have an abundance of water, an overflow. An overflow. Isn't that what you said, Helen? An overflow. If you just go deeper. So while we accept the command of God over our lives to arise to the occasion, prophets, prophetess, deaconess, ushers, lay members, okay, tithers, all right, as we rise to the occasion, go deeper. If you don't do nothing this year, this ain't deep. I promise you, but it's going to hit you different. Next time you go dry. Next time you go dry and you say, God, well, how do I feel your water? How do I feel your life? How do I get the overflow? You just gonna remember this, go deeper. Amen? Amen. I did not mean, I hope everybody got their praising. We're gonna have another praise break. I promise. But in that moment, if we would just arise, stop playing with God, people. Stop playing with God, people. We come in here, we make New Year's resolutions. We come in here and we say, well, we're giving up for Lent to go back to our same old lifestyles. As if God isn't saying, I need your full, complete yes. And I need you to go deeper. Yeah, you've been young enough to come in and bring us a selection. Amen. 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 Now we're getting ready to turn the service over into the hands of our pulpit. But most especially, we're calling for our pastors. So please stand on your feet. Stand on your feet. And if we don't give God praise for anything else today, let us praise God for having a pastor and not a disaster. Amen. Amen. And amen.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
and Yellow Day. So all glory and honor be to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Let's give God away. Give Jesus away. Holy Ghost away. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I'm glad I'm in church today. You know, somebody glad their church canceled today. But I'm glad to be here today. Where would I go but to the Lord, seeking a refuge for my soul, needing a friend, help me in the end. Amen. All right, sister. Our praise leaders today, God bless you. Hope that some prayers Sister Parker did in here today. Our sound department back there making us sound real good. Our ushers back at the door. Our musicians on today. All the members of clergy, our presiding elder. Now, maybe you looked at your program. All the deacons, mothers, saints, our visitors, everybody, our young people out there. Did you see our babies up here while the choir was singing? All right, the next generation moving on. Amen, amen. Thank God for Sister Tanira Parker. Praise the Lord. Praise leader coming forward. Yes, yes. That word from the Lord that she gave us. Take it, church, take it. And I don't know what your program says, but I think this is the one from last week. But the one this week, we have a guest speaker today. Well, some of y'all don't know. But Trustee Tiffany Scott, come on up. Take your seat. Take your seat. Oh! Some of you want to record it, that's fine. Just please don't live stream it. Don't post it until Friday. The pastor's asking you. You can record it, but please don't live stream it and don't post it until Friday. I have my reasons why. But we want to hear what the Lord has to say. Some months ago, when I was doing the schedule, and it came to me, why would we be worried about getting an outside preacher for the third Sunday in March when we got a trustee right here giving advice, talking to us, giving remarks, helping people out? Why not hear what thus saith the Lord today? So I know you're grateful to be in the house of the Lord. And even as I looked at her husband over there so emotional. Praise God.
Been a long time coming. And I had to say something. Because I've been through the whole process. And I believe that it's a scripture that says that my aunt taught us when we were young, the 23rd Psalm. And it says, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. The words escaping me now. But see, that's not important right now. The part that's important is where it says, it's a little further down. It says something about your grace and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. So what you don't understand is this is my grace and mercy. That's why I'm happy right now. This is scripture embodied in the flesh. This is my grace and mercy. And it follows me. I didn't come home the other night till around about 5 in the morning. And let me tell you, grace and mercy was, my grace and mercy was looking for me. So I have to stop it. I have to give them thanks like I prayed. My father prayed. My mother-in-law prayed. We all prayed. But see, can't nothing stop it. Can't nothing stop it. Can't nothing stop it. If I ain't going to do it, she going to do it. If she don't do it, I'm going to do it. But can't nothing stop it. And I thank God for allowing me to witness it. My lovely kids, pay attention. Listen up. Look. This is the Lord's will.
I want to put your hands together and show us some love and appreciation. And without further ado, I bring to you Trustee Tiffany Scott.
godly. Coming here to Holy Temple, I was 8 years old. And we was always told this was a sacred part of the church. From the altar to even sitting on the steps. It was sacred. I can remember Clarissa and Alfie and I, we would sit right here on these steps. We'll open in prayer. And I never thought that I would have the opportunity. So God did all the glory. No, I did not tell the pastor that I wanted to be a minister. No, I did not tell her I wanted to preach. So please don't think this is something that I have asked to do. But I am obedient to what the Lord has given to our pastor. And I dare not tell her no, that is not my time. Because when I call her and I need prayer and I need things, she doesn't tell me no. She doesn't have time. So I thank the Lord for this opportunity. And I'll start off with the word of prayer. Oh Father God, I come to you as humbly as I know how. God, use me as your mouthpiece, Lord, today. Fill me up until I overflow. Let your people live in overflow, Lord, today. I want to wrap my arms around you on this morning. I want to be closer to you on today. God, have your way on today. Whatever that is being spoken out of my mouth, out of your mouthpiece on today, let it touch him and deliver. Let it set free on today. This is my prayer on today. Amen. Amen. If I had to sing a song on today, I started thinking about withholding nothing. That is my song. I withhold nothing. I surrender all to you. And then it's so funny that my sister Stephanie walked in, because a couple weeks ago I could remember it was a Youth United and she sung this song and I couldn't get the words out of my mind, but it was Holy Spirit. There's nothing worth more that would ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living hope. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Let us become more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your kindness. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence. That is my song on today. I stand before you, wanting the Lord to do more and more in me each and every day. Amen. So if I was to bring a topic, since our youth pastor gave us a scripture, which was Joshua 1st chapter verses 9. And I'll read verse 1 through 9. Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, through and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread, that I have given unto you, as I said unto Moses, from the wilderness and from Lebanon, even until the great river, there you go, all the land of there you go, and until the great sea towards the going down of the sun shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto thy fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commandeth thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper wherever so thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein and day and night, that thou mayest observe, do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest. Amen. Amen. If I was to leave a topic, my topic would be, I want your oil, but am I ready? I started to think about our youth annual day topic, Generation Arise. And we always say we want to be like somebody, we aspire, we like this about this person, we like that about that person. But are we really ready? Are we really ready to take on what they have in their responsibilities? And on Friday night, it wasn't many of us that were here, but we talked about the responsibilities and the qualifications to become leaders in the church. And that we are all leaders in our own right, even if we don't have that title. When you walk into the door, you welcome someone, you greet someone, you pray for someone, you give someone an offering, you are a leader in your own right. So I started to think about Joshua, and I was like, Joshua, okay, I know a little bit about Joshua, but okay, he's getting this from Moses. So let me study Moses so I can kind of get an understanding of where Joshua needs to go. Because I feel like you can't know where you're going, your future, if you don't know your history, if you don't know where you come from. I am not a historian by any means of the imagination. I'm one that really don't necessarily care for history unless it's been during my time. But I started to read and it intrigued my mind a lot about Moses, and when I started to read, I bust out laughing. I told you, Elder Janice, I had to give you some props. I can remember when you were teaching Sunday school, you gave all of us a Bible chapter to read, and we had to do the lesson for that week, for that class. And you gave me Moses. So I'd already known the story because back in the day when I was probably about 9 or 10, Elder Janice made me study Moses and teach it to our Sunday school class. So Sunday school is definitely important. Amen. Amen. So talking about Moses. Moses was the first abandoned child mentioned in the Bible. Moses' mother placed him in a basket and sent him down the Nile River. Pharaoh's daughter found him and kept him for herself. She made sure that Moses had the best of everything, including education. She paid Moses' mother to nurse him as a child. So do you see the blessing in this? Moses' mother put him in the river. That's right. And then Pharaoh's daughter gets him. And then the mother is still able to nurture him. That's a blessing in itself. And when they say nurture and to nurse, it wasn't just to breastfeed or just to give formula, but it was to raise to a certain age. And so she got that opportunity to raise her son with her core values, her morals, her characteristics. She got to see what her son was always about. Pharaoh had a decree that every male child was to be put in the Nile River. So that's why that's why Moses' mother put him in the Nile. It wasn't because she didn't want him. It was just to keep him safe. That was her way of keeping him safe. And she didn't do this until Moses was 3 months old. And we know we got a couple babies around here. You know, at the 3 months, you can't hide a baby. The baby's going to cry. The baby's starting to babble, starting to make some noise. So she could no longer hide Moses. So Moses was abandoned by his mother for fear that he would be killed. Found by Pharaoh's daughter, nursed and raised by his mother, escaped the death of Pharaoh, and met God at the burning bush. What a life. What a life. And I come to tell you young people, it don't matter where you start or how you start. It's where you finish. It doesn't matter if you don't know your mother, you don't know your father, they gave you away. You test this person, as Murray Crowe say, you're not the father, you're not the father. It doesn't matter how you got here. It's the journey in between the beginning and the end. Amen. So Moses had a purpose was to lead the children out of Israel. Moses delivered a nation of oppressed people from bondage, molded them into a renewed nation, and received revelation from God with new moral standards and law. Moses, though, just like us, had 5 rebuttals. 5 excuses. The excuses that we always have, or that we can possibly have. I'm not adequate for the task. Who am I? Exodus 3 and 12. Certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee, that I have sent thee when thou hast brought forth the people of Egypt. Ye shall serve God upon this mountain. So he was telling them, I'm giving you this task, you adequate enough, you got enough in you. And the same thing with us. We don't think that we have enough. God gives us a task, and we pondering, well, why he asked me? I don't think I have enough. I don't really pray, but he gave it to you for a reason. The second rebuttal, I don't know enough. If I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me, and they ask me, what is his name? What shall I tell them? Moses was worried about not being able to answer the questions that the others may have asked of him. But God had already told him that he was going to be there. And he was going to give him. God don't send you somewhere and don't equip you. He would not give me the task of the pastor to go out because I'm not the pastor. He would give me what Trustee Scott needs to do.
All right.
The third one, people won't take me seriously. What if they won't believe me and obey me? By this time, the Lord had already told Moses that they were going to listen. But he still had questions. He still had doubts. And so the Lord told him, the Lord told him, what is in thy hand? And he said, a rod. And he said, cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground and it became a serpent. And Moses fled from before. So the Lord was telling him, I'm already here. I'm everything that you need in this day and in this time. Just trust me. And the fourth one, I'm no good with words. Please, Lord, I have never been eloquent. Who placed a mouth on humans? So my clap, I think Jesus had the best clap back. He said, who has made man's mouth? This is who made your mouth? Who made your mouth? I am the creator. I'm the author and finisher of your faith. How you gonna tell me what you can and cannot do? I made you that way. And so I started to think of all the ways that we sit there and we tell Lord, well, I don't want to do this, and you know I got this shortcoming, and you know I got that shortcoming, and you know one arm is shorter than the other, and I walk with a limp, and my eyes blink too much, and I gotta put on glasses, and I got a runny nose, and you come up, I got asthma, so I can't run around the church, and you find all of these reasons not to do God's will, but He created you.
Yes.
So why not?
Amen.
And so the last one, I'm not willing. Lord, send someone else. And this is found in Exodus 5th chapter, verses 22. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Lord, wherefore hast thou so evil entreated the people? Why is it that thou hast sent me? Again, he's questioning God. Why did you send me? Why you can't send somebody else? And I often think about these rebuttals, because when I read it, I was like, that sounds like stuff we do now. It sounds like what we do now. And I remember it said there's nothing new underneath the sun. Things just repeat themselves over and over again. And I just started thinking about the rebuttals. For every rebuttal, God offered His promise and provision. God doesn't give us direction without equipment. He doesn't send us to the battlefield not ready to serve. So I just started thinking, I was like, Lord, do we do that? Do I do that? When you asked me to speak, did I have a rebuttal? I did. I asked why. I ain't asked why. I just asked why. I wanted to know. I wanted to know. I even talked to Reverend Rivers. I was like, why me? Like everybody else said, why me? Why we can't get somebody? I just started thinking, why me? And then it came to me, why not you? Why not you? You've been here long enough. You've heard enough messages. You've read enough Bible scriptures. Why not you? So moving moving on to talk about the journey to the promised land. The children of Israel was in slavery, bondage, like some of us. We are in bondage of our thoughts, peer pressure, societal views, finances, home life. We can go on and on and on about what we are in bondage of. But our pastor is trying to take us to the promised land. But some of us like to be in our bondage. We like to be enslaved in the devil. We like to be in sin. We would prefer to go with the heartache and the pain than to walk upright and give it to the Lord. We prefer to be comfortable in a mess than be excited and happy with giving it to God. 40 years through the wilderness, the children of Egypt began to be complainers, like most of us. Complained about the food, complained about the temperature, complained about the slowness of their progress, complained about that Egypt might have been better than the wilderness trip. Sounds just like some of us. We complain about church being too hot, church being too cold, church being too short, church being too long. We don't like this preacher, we don't like this song, we don't like to sing the song, but we can't sing. We complain about everything. If it doesn't go our way, we continue to complain. Where the usher sitting? Why she sit me next to her? Why she sit me next to him? Why did Timmy play this song? Why I can't walk down the aisle no more? Why I gotta take the side out? Why the deacons and the leaders gotta sit here? Y'all would be surprised how much we complain once we get to church. Just like the children of Israel, we lose sight of our destination and our goal. Our goal is to come here and worship the Lord. Not about who sits to our right, who sits to our left, what song they sing, what song they didn't sing, who's on the organ, who's not. That is not our goal when we come to church. Just like many of us, we've gotten angry with people because we believe that they are being ungrateful. Our pastor teaches us about being grateful. What if we had a pastor that every time we decided to complain, she whipped us with the belt? How many lashes would you have? And I'm talking about one Sunday morning service. How many lashes would you have had? If she would look through your phone and saw your text messages, you texting this one, why is she singing that song? He all kid. That's music you like. You see her dress? Look at her hair, she sleep. Look at him over here, he's pain. You got some pain. You ready going to eat after church? Can I go with you? Can I send my kids with you? Why the deacon back there keep looking at me? Did you smell her? She said, you got some hair? We can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about excuses. And while we talking, we missing something in the presence of the Lord. Have you not had somebody tap you in church and you said, huh? And they said something, then we turn back around, you missed whatever it was on. You missed it. And you like, man, I shouldn't have turned over, I shouldn't have listened to what they said, and what they said wasn't worth a hell of a bean. And you missed it, and then you got furious, you got upset. You're like, man, I missed what they said, I missed that word, I missed that nugget. You missed it because you were talking. You were busy being a busybody instead of listening to the word. So Moses understood the feeling of being around complainers. Children of Israel was complainers, just like we are at times. Moses got upset and angry because he was dealing with people who had little faith, people who were tired and weary, and people who didn't trust God the way that he did. Just like we do to our pastor. We need to continue to hearken to her voice. When she asks us to do something, just do it in haste. Don't wait. Don't talk about it. Don't go to your friend and say, well, you know, she told me this. What should I do? Just obey the will and the command. So Moses got angry after the children of Israel just would not listen, just complaining. And so he snapped like we did. He said, here now, you rebels. Must we fetch you water out of this rock? Must we? We, meaning him and Aaron, we, right? First of all, Moses, let me tell you, right? You can't do not a doggone thing because you have no power without God. He said we as if he could do something for them. But Moses couldn't do anything without God's help. Secondly, Moses needed to bring it all the way down. He was being real cocky. He thought just because the Lord was using him as a leader, he had the attitude that he could do whatever he wanted to do at that moment in time. God told Moses to speak to the rock instead of striking the rock. Previously, God had given Moses the instructions to hit the rock, but not this time. It was a different instruction. Stop using past instructions for today's task. If God has asked you to pray from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Monday and Tuesday, and next week He asks you to pray from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Monday through Wednesday, don't stop at Tuesday. That's right. Follow His instructions. If He tells you to do something on Thursday, don't do it on Wednesday night. If He tells you to do something on Friday, don't do it on Saturday, because you are not in His will at that point. You are not following His direction. God didn't do to him what we would have done to Moses, because Moses didn't listen. We would have called him out, embarrassed him, made a big scene. And instead, God allowed the water to spring from the rock, but punished him in private. No more than what we should do to our children. Sometimes spanking and chastising them in public is unnecessary. And I am one. If you act up in church, I'm going to beat you in church. You act up in the mall, I'm going to beat you in the mall. But sometimes everything is not supposed to be publicized. Some things you can say when you get home, you're going to get it. Everything doesn't have to be up front. I'm going to knock you in the street. I'm going to punch you in your face. You just like your father. You just like your mother. You lazy. You good for nothing. We don't have to speak that over our children. Believe me, they get that enough. They get it enough in school buildings. They get it enough of people in the classroom. They get it on the playground. They get it enough that they are defeated, especially our black young men. They get that all the time. That they will never be anything. Look at the news. Every time you look at the news, it's a black man dying. Amen. How do you think our black men feel looking at the news?
Amen.
19, 18, 17, recently 13. Can't even go to a party. May not even make it home. Mother had no life insurance. What are we teaching our children? What are we instilling in our children? But Moses was disobedient. God dealt with Moses privately. God told Moses that because he did not obey him, that he would not be able to take the children of Israel to the promised land. But he allowed him to see the promised land, but not enter the promised land. God is so good because he will keep his promise. He will keep his promise. Even when we don't listen, he will keep his promise. If the pastor doesn't correct us or get us all the way together, she will be held accountable for our actions. That is why she's on us to do the right thing, to pray, to fast, to turn, to join the auxiliary, to read your Bible, attend Bible study. She gives us a numerous amount of things to do. And now I'm going to talk about the transition. Moses' disobedience and pride stood in the way. God still showed favor unto Moses and allowed Moses to see the promised land, but not to enter. God kept his promise. Since Moses knew that he would not enter the promised land and prayed to see his successor, Joshua was his assistant or adjutant or armor bearer, depending upon what generation you grew up. Something different. He was there with Moses from the beginning of his journey and was being groomed just like us. Some of us were in our mother's womb when we got here. Some of us got here so young, that's all we know is Holy Temple. So we are being groomed. We are being groomed when we ask our young people to come up and do prayer, or to read a scripture, or to sing a song, or to play an instrument. We are grooming them. Because they're, as Reverend Alta Jana said, they're not the future church. They are the church of today. We can't wait until Madison is 35 to try to groom her to do praise and worship. We need to plant the seed now.
Amen.
And so God allowed Joshua to fulfill Moses' place. Joshua was in position. Joshua didn't have Moses to be a leader. He stood beside Moses and supported Moses as a leader. Moses was 80 years old when he started the journey, and now at 120 years old, he was still being respected. How come we can't or don't respect our elders? They had wisdom and knowledge that only comes with age and maturity. Joshua stood before a congregation and was installed as the new leader. Same thing we do today to ordain an individual. Moses laid his hands upon him, and the scripture states that to give him some of his honor, but not all. Deuteronomy 34:9, Joshua was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses has laid his hands upon him. Double portion of Moses' spirit will be bestowed to strengthen him to take Moses' task and carry it forward to completion. So now moving on to Joshua. So now we know the importance of the transition, carrying the torch. Are we ready to carry the torch? If Minister Davis said, I am no longer going to be a chief financial officer, who is ready to pick up that torch and run? Are you in position? Are you in position? If Reverend Rivers decides, I'm no longer the youth pastor, I'm getting ready to go, my time is near, are you ready to take the torch? Joshua received the oath from Moses to lead the children of Israel to the promised land. Do you want the pastor's oil? Do you want her anointing? Do you want her blessing? Are you ready to lead? Are you ready to step up to the plate? Are you ready for battle? That is the question. Are you ready? The vision God gave Pastor Rose went to Pastor Miller. Who's next to carry the vision? Who's next? Who's worthy? Can God trust you is a question. If God gave you a charge, He will be with you until the task is discharged. He will never leave you nor forsake you, even when you don't follow His direction. God said, be strong and courageous. Why? Like a couple times keep saying, like, all right, come on, what do you mean? Because He knew the enemy is going to tempt us to put doubt in our mind. The devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. To steal your vision, to kill your dreams, and to destroy your self-esteem. Obey the laws Moses gave Joshua. Why we gotta change everything? We as millennials, and I'm saying we because I'm going to throw myself in a bunch with y'all today. Why we gotta change everything? Pastor Rose had rules in place for particular reasons. She knew it would keep us safe and holy. Like wearing pants, for example. No pants for women. Don't get me wrong. I love a nice pair of jeans and a good pair of dress slacks. I do. But wearing pants opened up a Pandora box that we weren't ready for. Now you got jeans that look like tights. You got damaged jeans with more holes than jeans. We got jeans that's so tight it look like somebody poured us in the jeans. And we wonder why some things were in place. We wonder why things are set to be the way they are. Now, not saying that there aren't some extremely short dresses or skirts, but it would have minimized the indecency of the woman. It would have minimized some of the things that we allow or we accept our children to do. It would minimize some of the things that our young men seek after. If this wasn't something that we always had to change. We want to wear earrings. She said, wear no bigger than a quarter. We got to come in and with like you can put $2 $50 bills in it. You know, we take things to the extreme. As the older people used to say, you give them an inch, they take a yard. If we would keep some of those old stages, it would safeguard us for some of the mess that's going on today. God says it again, be strong and courageous. This makes about 3 times. So I started to look about what does strong mean. Having or marked by great physical power, having moral or intellectual power, having great resources as of wealth or talent. Courageous, having or showing mental or moral strength to face danger, fear, or difficulty. So I kept thinking, I said, well, I know you call the old because they're wise, call the young because they're strong. But how strong are we young people? We say we strong, but if we ask you to move the offering table
It's too heavy.
How strong are you? When the devil comes to tempt our minds, how strong are we to say, not today, devil. I'm not committing suicide today, devil. I'm not rolling this blunt today, devil. I'm not drinking this bottle today. I'm not going to this party today. How strong are you as young people? And don't say that you don't know the word, because the word has been planted.
That's right.
How strong are you to continue to fight, to continue to press on, to continue to read your Bible, to continue to pray? Because Morning Glory Prayer is there Monday through Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, Mother Sky has Morning Glory Prayer. And it's a many days I've gotten up and did not feel like praying. It's a many days that at 5:58 I'm like, Jesus, Lord, be with me. And then at 6 o'clock you would have never thought. It even surprises me. I was like, I was tired. Surprises me.
Yeah.
That when you put forth for the Lord, that He will bless you. He will bless you in spite of what you feel like is going on. He will make a way out of nowhere. And He gave me this word years ago. Only what you do for Christ will last. So if I'm gonna get up and cook my husband breakfast, if I'm gonna get up and get my kids ready for school, why can't I get up and pray a little bit? Why can't I get up and talk to Him a little while? Because guess what? I need Him to help me not burn down my house while I'm flying. I need Him to help my car start so I can run my kids around to the bus stop. I need Him that when He's on the bus, when my kids are on the bus, that Mr. Blue gonna watch out for my children. I need when I go back home, I need my house to still be there when I walk in. When I travel to PG County every day, I need the Lord to take me there. When I'm sitting there and I'm talking to someone that is infected with HIV, I need the Lord to be there. When I come back home and I'm coming home to my own home with my kids while my husband is working, I need the Lord to be there. We had someone to try to break in, come into the car and took the garage key to get into the garage. I needed God to be there because my husband wasn't there. And thank God my husband wasn't there. But you need God every step of the way. You need Him in the morning. You need Him in the afternoon. You need Him at night. You need Him, you need Him, you need Him. So why not give Him a little bit of the time? Why not sacrifice a little bit of the sleep? Because guess what? He can let you sleep on if He wanted to. He can let you go here and die in your sleep since you think sleep is that important. He can do all things. He can do anything and everything but fail. God is faithful. He is faithful, church. He will do exactly what He said He will do. He will never leave you alone. He will never forsake you alone. When you think your back is up against the wall. When you're confused. When you don't know what to do. When you're too ashamed to call me, to call a pastor, to talk to the elders, to talk to your parents. Go to God in prayer. He already knows. He already knows. Surrender to Him. Give it all to Him. Withhold nothing. Because what you hold, He can't bless. What you don't do, He can't bless. Put a down payment on your blessing. It's on the way. Your miracle is coming. It's a step away. Don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. Don't say, you know what? I've been on this journey for 6 months. I've been asking God to do this for me. I've been asking God to do this. I've been asking God to bless me. I've been asking God. I've been faithful. Continue. Because He will not leave you nor forsake you. When you think about His goodness and all that He has done for you, people wake up every day confused in their mind. Don't know where they are, but you woke up clothed in your right mind. Generation of rise. We don't need nobody to tell us to stand up and to magnify the Lord. Rise. This is our season. This is our time. Do you want the oil? Yes. Are you ready for the oil? Praise the Lord, everybody. Praise the Lord, everybody. Praise the Lord, everybody. Amen. Arise, O Lord, and take your place. Let your kingdom be established. Oh yes, on ancient days, you are good and your mercy endures forever. Don't you want